Awesome. Thank you. Hey, Coach, I think the thing that really jumped out at me was the 7 assists on offense was, at its best. The offense should look like what?
Well, we felt tonight we went small. That's how we got back in the game at Baylor at the end of the first half. We felt like Hamir had a mismatch on their 5-man. Their 5-man played a 1-man zone, tried to stay in the paint, take tough shoot twos, but you could get wide open threes. Felt like in the first half we were a little bit selfish. We weren't moving the ball. We looked slow. Missed a couple 1-and-1s by good shooters at the end of the half. And in the second half, I felt like we got really good threes. We just couldn't make it. We got in transition a lot. We just couldn't capitalize. And but the offense should be 5 guys moving. We've been working on a 5-out, passing, cutting, trying to get space. And when they would help, we felt like we could get a 3 from our 5-man who shot 40% from the 3-point line last year in league and had been shooting the ball exceptionally well. So one of those days.
Yeah. Hey, and then just your thoughts on just how this game even sort of came to, to cram this in before you got to, Thursday's game. Just your thoughts there.
Well, you know what, Percy, it's hard to just get games. Obviously not in a perfect world. We found out less than 24 hours we wanted to try to play and get the bad taste out of our mouth after the Baylor, and it backfired a little bit. We looked lethargic. We looked, like a quick turnaround was really tough on the legs. But for the most part, it is what it is. We're blessed that we're playing. And wish we had a couple practice days to figure it out. But we're about to get on a bus to Utah and go down there and play a Pac-12 game.
All right, Coach.
Thank you.
All
right, Lauren. Go ahead, Lauren.
Hey, Hop. Do you like the shots that your team is getting? Are they just not falling, or are you not liking the setup either?
Sometimes I felt in the second half I wanted them to drive a little bit more, see if we could. We weren't making them. I knew the legs were fatigued, and can we get to the? Could we get to the basket and finish? Our defense was good enough. We were got in transition multiple times. But Riverside did a really good job of not allowing us to get to the basket in transition. And what they do is like a lot of really good teams is they allow you to get the 3. And I felt like when Raekwon gets a good rhythmic 3, I think it's going in. I felt like if Hamir Wright, he's been shooting well. We felt like that was the advantage tonight. He gets a 3, great. Eric Stevenson, we want them to shoot. There was a couple forced ones, but for the most part, I thought they were pretty good.
What's the difference you're seeing in the offense that you've seen in these first 2 games and the offense that you see from this team in practice?
Well, I felt like, you can never simulate defenses. Like, for instance, when people play us, they'll be like, geez, I've never played against the zone. How do you practice against it? The length, the size, the rotations, you can look at it and try to scout it. Like, we could sit there and say Baylor's going to be physical, and then we try to foul in practice, but you never, you can never simulate until you're actually playing. And you can see the physicality. We had good moments. It was just inconsistent. Felt like the guys, I felt like it would be a great learning experience, probably bad scheduling on my part. And so, they lost a little bit of confidence, and you can see that today. And these guys are really good players, but, looked a little bit zapped and looked like they lost a little bit of a confidence, and it's our job to pick them back up.
Ideally, you mentioned the transition. Ideally, do you want to spend a lot of time out in transition with this group? We
do. When we're small, we got to make teams pay. So, if you can score in transition by playing good defense, I think with our 5, perimeter players, it's going to give us our best opportunity. The combination of, opening up the paint and having drives where we can be aggressive, going to the basket, as well as getting good-looking 3-pointers in transition. But if we don't have it, now we can run our offense. And we just looked slow. We looked lethargic. We weren't cutting hard. Things that we talk about with the guys that we just got to get better at. And I felt like even the Baylor game, because we got rushed, I didn't do a good enough job, just preparing them within 24 hours. There was a lot of learning to be done, and And when you're playing the next game, you're really just trying to prepare for that next team. So same type of deal. We just got to play together. We got to stay confident and move forward.
All right. Thanks, Hop.
Thank you, Lauren.
Yeah, Hop, I mean, just kind of working on that confidence thing. Did you feel like then there was some carryover from what happened against Baylor? Do you feel like that had an effect?
Well, they would never say it, but you could see it today. We were a little bit hesitant. It could have been the fatigue for playing a game and playing quick. No, but we just didn't have that same pop. We were missing layups to start the game. We were missing open passes. And those are things that we've got to be able to do. You've got to be able to finish. You got to be able to go to the foul line and knock them down. We missed 2 1-on-1s at the end of the half, which would have really helped in a game like this. But, we're not going to win a lot of games shooting 36% from the field and 24% from the three-point line. We're just not. And then getting out rebounded the way that we did. We're just not. And so we've got to figure something out. We got to maybe, look at different lineups. Our best offensive lineup, and that's what we've been struggling with, is our small ball. But it's really hurt us with the rebounding. We've got to figure it out.
Has that also carried over in terms of coming out the second half? Because it seems like both halves, there's been a sluggishness or just trying to get into the game, and other teams have been allowed. I know you can't create a pattern out of 2 games, but it just feels like that's the way it's been going.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Eric's new with these guys. There's a chemistry. Everybody has a new role. I don't think Hamir shot 10 shots or 12 shots in a game last year. Was a guy that we could get him. Quade has to do a lot, and he needs to score, but he also needs to share it and get other guys open because he has that ability. So there's a balance there, it's just going to be a learning curve for us playing without. It's just going to be a learning curve for us, but we'll get better. Got to share it. I thought our defense was decent. We got to rebound better, and offensively. Got to be quicker, faster, and then obviously shoot better.
Obviously, you're talking about the learning process, and I know you're trying to get plan A perfected before you can even think about a plan B. But when the shots aren't falling, do you feel like is there something else that you guys can go to? Well,
we just felt, sometimes your best offense is your defense, and I felt like tonight it really was. And we got in transition, but we weren't running like you normally see. We got to run better. We got to push it better. When we got back in and we cut it to 6 or whatever it was, we were running, we were moving, we were cutting harder, and we just got to do that more consistent. And that will really, really help us. And when the ball pops and moves like that, usually the basketball gods reward you with made shots. We just got to move on and get better, and that's the way to do it.
Lastly, just with the nut schedule, the conditioning, has that been a problem? Has that been?
What? Everybody's dealing with it right now, but I can see it with us. There's no getting around it. You can see it. You can see it's heavy on the legs. I only like to play 7 or 8 guys, and I might have to go deeper in the bench, get these guys some rest. At the end, when we were trying, there was 4 minutes to go, and you got that team out there. They were dying. They were gassed, and that was concerning for me. So I've got to coach better and just figure out this Rubik's Cube right now and figure out how we're going to win.